Go. Dear ladies and gentlemen, let us kick off the 136th meeting of Toastmaster International, locally hosted from Saint Petersburg, but also a warm welcome to everyone joining us from around the world, in particularly our guests, Victor and Rebecca from Singapore, and Rami, I'm not sure if it's Moscow from you or Dubai already. Yes, so that's actually very great to have both of you Ramis here with us today. I'm going to quickly jump through the very brief agenda of today. We have the highly probability of being on time with our meeting because our agenda is a Swiss cheese agenda. A lot of participants have not confirmed for participating today, although we are 12 members. Nonetheless, we're going to run through the program without major problems and having two speeches. Randall will be our nice grammarian. No, not grammarian, timer of today. We do not have a grammarian, and we do not have the joke master. We do not have a table topic master. However, I would highly recommend transfer the setting of this meeting into an improvisation format meeting, and everything else, if you want to add something or have another role or have another idea for the second half or how to turn it around, just be happy and open to share your ideas.
I'll be the table topics master for the second half.
There we go. Thank you very much, Michael, for just in time interaction and kicking off what improvisation is all about. I would love to hand over the word to no other than directly our first speaker for today. But help me once, we don't have a general evaluator, or did I miss something about that as well? No, exactly. So we are going to kick it off straight with our first speaker of today. The first speaker of today is going to be Mr. Rami Saeed. Rami Saeed is a multinational personality who's been traveling the world, but has origins in the Arabic-speaking country, nonetheless now living or spending some time in Saint Petersburg. Rami is a highly passionate dancer when it comes to music and rhythms. He prefers in particularly salsa and bachata, if I'm not mistaken. And this is particularly interesting for him now in St. Petersburg, and also looking forward during the White Nights. Within Toastmaster, he has a mentor who is Michael Wader, and his due and his topic today is the bro, which will be an insight into his experience of what it is to be a protege. The stage is yours, Rami Saeed. Rami Saeed, the bro.
Thank you, Walter. Fellow Toastmasters, welcome, and dear guests. So I'm sure that you have went through developing a certain skill in your life. You've all went through an experience where you got blocked and you couldn't progress in something and you needed the help of someone. And that person can be your sister, your brother, your father, or your friend, or someone that you've paid to help you. Maybe it can be a person that is a coworker. For me, it was when I was 16 years old. I was barely able to tie my shoes. I needed someone to help me to become a man, to grow up, to make money, to date, to have some muscles, to become a successful person in general. And I had that mentor of mine, and I've had that experience. And I would like to share with you the 3 things that are very important when you select a mentor. The first thing is yourself. You need to be, how willing are you to learn? That's first. Second is, who do you listen to? Third, the person that's mentoring you, do they have the skills necessary to teach you? So let's go through this whole program and start with yourself. So you, as a person who's trying to learn, you need to actually want to learn. Like you can't just take it casual, lie under the sun, and expect that somehow you will get the information and it will be done. Some people actually think that this is going to happen. The power of attraction, it will come to you. Maybe this will work, maybe, but most likely you have to have it as a goal in your head. So when you say, I want to work on something, you actually start opening up. Your ego goes down and you start becoming like a sponge and bringing in the good information and absorbing. Now, after you've opened yourself and you became willing to learn, you will be able and be ready to receive the information. So now let's make sure that your sponge brings in good kind of water, not the dirty kind. And let's look at the mentor that you're gonna be selecting. The second point is the mentor. Mentor has to be someone who has actually made results. For example, I cannot go to a person who is fat and tell him, bro, how will I become strong? How will I become powerful? No, you have to go to someone who is actually physically fit and shows the results and has been doing this for some time and a winner. From my side, when I was 16, I selected the person that was the coolest person in school, the person who actually had some income. He was the guy coming in a Jag. He had the hottest girl with him. He was coming into school smoking a cig, and he had the red carpet. All of our guys would have our eyes wide open, looking at him. Oh, master almighty, you know, this kind of person. I went to him and I told him, dude, would you teach me? How did you get there? He said, okay, I'll get you on my wing. Come here and I'll teach you. I'll make you the successful person. Other than choosing the mentor, the third thing you have to do is to make sure that that mentor is also able to teach you. He has or she has the skills necessary to get you to your point. Some characteristics a mentor should have is patience, be available, have a positive approach, be able to listen to you, understand your needs, and always regularly come back and help you. From my side, this is where I was missing a little bit, and I lost it. My mentor was good and successful, but didn't know how to teach. He was impatient. If I would not understand the point very quickly, he would get angry. How many of us had such people? They're successful, they're great, but they can't teach you. And if anything, what you see and what they tell you is different. So we've all had these experiences, and that's okay. We need to make sure that whenever we select a mentor, that they also can teach us. So to sum up, these are the three things that in order for you to have best experience and to get your goals done. The first thing is you need to be willing to learn. Second is, who do you listen to? Third is, can your mentor actually teach you? These are the things, and I wish you all success. Thank you. Back to you, Walter.
Thank you very much, dear Rami, for sharing this nice mentorship and the bro topic to all of us. Please, dear members and dear participants, may I ask you to take a couple of seconds and have a direct message to Rami typed into the chat section in terms of what you liked about his speech. To do so, please make sure that you click the button in the chat section, but make sure you do not send it to all, but just choose Rami Saeed and then type in your feedback for him. We'll have for it a couple of seconds, maybe 20, 30 seconds to make sure that he will receive an honest and direct feedback from everyone. I'm going to do this as well before we continue with the next agenda item. once you have provided your comment, give me a sign, or just make sure that you have your hand out or hand put up so that I can see with your reactions that you have done so. Okay, okay, okay. Victor, myself, Michael did it. Randy, I guess, as well. Rebecca, you still need some time, or are we good to go? Yeah, okay, good. Okay. There we go. All right. Then, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear members, we will continue straight away to our second person who is going to deliver another speech, which will be enlightened to listen. Let's have another seconds because I see there's a bit of technical adjustments going on. Mike, you want to give me some sign when we're ready? When you're ready? Yeah, cool. It is a pleasure of mine to have our second speaker today introducing to you. Our second speaker has the title for his speech, which is nothing more than From Here to Eternity. Why would this person be so good in telling us these insights? Nothing more as this is our most mature personnel and a character, having already finished a lot of chapters throughout his book of life, being in the army, being in the leadership, being a mentor with a lot of cross-cultural experience in more over 20 countries. I think that is just a very logical experience that Michael Wader, with finishing his dynamic leadership path, will present to us his reflection on exactly this. Dear ladies and gentlemen, From Here to Eternity, Michael Wader. Michael Wader, From Here to Eternity.
It's always darkest just before the dawn. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, in the spring of 2020, I lost everything. I lost all my customers from my company. I lost all my contracts for 2020. I stopped writing. I lost my self-confidence. I was like everybody else, staying at home with the pandemic, and I was not feeling so good. But a new friend of mine that I had only known for a year made a comment to me that caused me to reflect. And when I reflected, I said, let's think about the way things used to be. Now, I joined Toastmasters originally in 1986 in Okinawa, Japan. And my second year there, I helped found a brand new club in Japan. In 1990, I moved to England, and in 91, I founded another new club in Toastmasters. In 92, they decided to promote me to an area governor, and I had 6 clubs I was responsible for. I was thrilled. This is the best life can get. I would craft my speeches, I would do my research, I would study it, practice it, and then deliver it. And people always gave me positive feedback. And I was lucky enough that I actually won a few of the local competitions. It was wonderful. I was really pumped up. Then in 93, I went to the United States, was in Toastmasters for 2 years. And in 1995, everything changed. I retired from the military in 95 to start my own personal business, Leadership Excellence International. I wanted to have a global company. I didn't have time to be going to Toastmasters meetings and preparing and doing things for an officer and all this and do my job. If I was going to grow my business, I had to put priority on it. So Toastmaster went to back priority. Toastmaster went away. Over the next 25 years, I grew my company. As Walter was saying, more than 20 countries, all over the place I was going. And I was successful, not extremely successful, but successful enough to make a good living out of it. But when we come to spring or February of 2020, I lost everything. 0 income, 0 business, and 0 confidence. So I was kind of stuck. So when this newfound friend had asked me to think backwards, just to think about some things, he said to me, Michael, why don't you think about joining Toastmasters? And I said, I think I know what Toastmasters is. I used to be an area governor. I used to give speeches. And he said, all that has changed. Toastmasters is not what it used to be. It has changed, but we still grow leaders. So I said, okay, I'll think about it. So in March, I went to a meeting. April, I went to a meeting. Finally, in May, I signed up with Toastmasters. I went to a couple more meetings. And on July 11th, 9 months and 13 days ago from today, I gave my icebreaker. And the title of my icebreaker was Never Stop Learning. This was a key in the development of Michael Waiter today. Because in order to do that never stop learning speech, I had to do a little bit of homework. I had to do a little bit of research. And I found in my research a quote from Henry Ford, which will stay with me forever. Henry Ford says, people who do not learn grow old. Doesn't matter if you're 20 or 80. People who keep learning stay young. He said the best thing in life is to stay young in your mind. So that's what I tried to do. Now, as things went on, by August, I had given 5 speeches already, and I was getting excited. I would prepare, I'd get up and talk 5 to 7 minutes, I'd get applause, people make me smile, all these good things. So I got overexcited because in September, I joined a club in Singapore. In November, I helped found a brand new club in Doha. In January, I helped found a brand new club in Toronto, 4 clubs. I not only got involved, I got super involved. I got so involved that I got lost. So many things were happening to me. I'm also the president of my local Rotary Club, and they wanted more help. The Toastmasters wanted more help. I needed to rebuild my company. Too many things on my plate at one time. Well, by the time I got to level 4 of dynamic leadership, it talked about managing change, exactly what I needed at that time. It taught me how to put structure in things, how to make a list, how to plan my schedule, how to get things done with priority. And as I went through that, it was so very helpful. I started reading more. I started writing more. I even started eating more Snickers candy bars. Boy, that was yummy. All these things started to improve, and I started to grow a little bit. I even have a book that I wrote 4 years ago, but I wasn't so crazy about. I rewrote that book. And then, this is good news, this past week, I just signed a contract with a publisher in America who's going to promote my book and sell it. I can tell you, writing a book is difficult. Finding a publisher that agrees with you is harder. But I found one, and I even got a good endorsement from a very popular person. That is going in the right direction. I also started reading more. When I got to that level 4, they said that, Michael, you need to do a 360 review of yourself. That was one of the projects. So I read a little bit about leadership. Then I read a little bit more. Now remember, I've been teaching leadership and telling other people about leadership, but I'm not sure I knew anything new about leadership. I had been teaching people what I knew. I was not learning myself. I was giving them what I knew. Well, I started studying a little bit about leadership, and I found out that maybe I wasn't doing everything right. Maybe there were some fallacies in my model. But in level 4, it helped me to clarify that. And when I had to ask 6 of my friends who work with me in other organizations to give me feedback, it was a little bit eye-opening. I saw some things that maybe I didn't like. I saw some things that maybe I need to change a little bit. You know, we're not all perfect. But if we don't ask for help, no one's going to help us. You have to ask for help, because asking for help is a sign of confidence, not a sign of weakness. So I started to get back a little bit of that confidence. And as Toastmaster put me into level 5. When I got into level 5, I had to give a professional speech. So I prepared it, got all ready, presented my professional speech. And guess what? A week after that, not because of it, but a week after that, I got my first professional speech in 3 years in India. A paid for speech. It was great. Now I've got one more professional speech coming up, and it's going to be 1 May in Doha. So it's starting to happen. It's starting to come back. Now, I've been in this dynamic leadership pathway, as I mentioned, over 10 months. First speech was 9 months and 13 days ago. And when I was back there and I was doing my icebreaker, and then after that, the first speech, I asked somebody, my VPE, how long does it take us to do the pathway? Oh, usually about 2 years. 2 years? I ain't got 2 years to wait. Come on. I need it quicker. So instead of sitting back in the dark and waiting for the dawn to rise, I decided I'm going to get in my car, put the pedal to the metal, and I'm going to drive towards that dawn. I'm going to make that dawn come a little bit sooner than average. So today, I'm at the last step of my first pathway. By June 7th, I'll be on the last step of my second pathway, also finished. I will have finished 2 pathways in 1 year. Now, the other people have done that before me, but I can tell you it's an exhilarating experience to be in front of these people helping them and to have people call me and say, Michael, can you come be a guest speaker at our Toastmasters Club? Can you come be a guest speaker at our Rotary Club? Can you come for a paid speech performance? This is heaven, people. When the pandemic arrived, things got very dark for me, very, very dark. So dark that I wasn't sure which way I should go, and maybe I should leave Russia and go back to the United States. I didn't know. But when that friend invited me to Toastmasters again, and I was able to come back, and I was able to try Toastmasters, and then I found that spark. I found that dawn in the horizon, and I started driving towards it because I knew I had done it before and liked it, and I wanted to do it again. This pathway has shown me that I still have confidence in Michael Wader. I still can do it. But there is something that I have to remember. When things are going down, when things are not looking so good for me, I need to remember that very first icebreaker that I had a long time ago. Never stop learning. I need to keep doing that the rest of my life. When things go down, I'm going to be learning more. And how long am I going to do it? I'm going to do it from here to eternity. Mr. Tabletop, Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.
Thank you very much, dear Michael, for this very passionate and emotional sharing from your here to eternity. Thank you very much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, may I please also ask you in this case, give within usage of the chat to Michael a direct feedback for his speech delivery. Just right now, make sure you choose Michael Wader and do not send it to all in the entire group. But nonetheless, maybe I can ask Randall in the meantime to give us a timer's report if possible.
Yes, certainly you can.
For the 2
Certainly, it would be my pleasure. It would be my pleasure. So our 2 speakers are well within their time limit. Rami, 5 minutes, 29 seconds. His speech was to be 5 to 7 minutes long. Michael's speech should be 10 to 12 minutes, and it was 10 minutes and 54 seconds.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Timer, Mr. Randall. And I am now, as we speak, placing the vote link into our chat group. All right, dear ladies and gentlemen, according to our agenda, we would kick off our break session right now. I usually, or for all the people who are with us today or visiting us regularly, would have a breakout session. I would not do it right now in a breakout session. I think we're enough people to have a nice brief communication using the break of 10 minutes. My clock says 14:39 and the agenda says 14:39 shall be the break. So I think this is perfect timing and we're back on track in the time, and after 10 minutes in 14 50, we will reconvene the meeting again. Then, dear ladies and gentlemen, I herewith reconvene the meeting and would love to have our topic master of today, our improvised topic master of today, Michael Wader, to take over and guide us through the table topic sessions. Table topic sessions, I think we have everyone who's aware of it. It is the improvised session where you have between 1/3 and 2 minutes to give your answer based on the question being asked. Michael Wader, table topics. Table topics, Michael Wader.
Oh, thank you so much there, Mr. Toastmaster President, whatever you want to call yourself. I'm not quite sure, but thank you very much. Appreciate that. For everybody on the screen, you just need to know that Randall is going to give you a green light at 1 minute. He's going to give you a yellow light at 1.5, and he's going to give you red at 2 minutes, just so that you will be able to keep up with it. And today, I think everybody can see the screen and see the timer very easy. There's only 6 screens on here with 7 people, so we'll be just fine. All right. Now, I don't know if you know it or not, but we're in Book Week, Global Book Week. Books are supposed to be read around the world. Okay, so I'm going to start there, but then I'm going to wander away a little bit and get some improv. And the first person who's going to give us an improv today is Walter Schwartz. Walter, you're first.
Okay.
The question is, what is the last book you have read, and what would you change if you were the author?
Okay, that is a very tricky one. Thank you very much, Michael, for kicking this off. I hardly remember the last book I read due to the fact that I've switched from reading books recently to reading academic papers. Due to the fact that academic papers have a faster outcome and have not necessarily have the need to read through the entire content, but are more compressed, I've done that. Nonetheless, I have been reading some compressed papers on the Russian version of so-called typography of humans, or for the English-speaking world, this typography of characters is the 16 personalities of an MBTI test. An MBTI test is a Myers-Briggs type indicator, and in every country, I don't know if every country has another local version of it, but in Russia there's so-called socionomy or something like that, and they have a more different descriptions of those characters. And this was something I was diving into, but there is no particular book I've read on that. And that was I think what I've learned out of this is that the amount of tворчество, which is the arts science field, is being described in typology in the Russian world in a much deeper way than from my perspective, into the Anglo-American versions of those type indicators characters. What I would change? Nothing, because I like the approach of quick learning. Thank you very much, dear Mr. Table Topic Master.
Very, very good. By the way, Walter, when you go back there and read that same article again, ENTP.
Ian, nice meeting you as an ENFP. Yeah.
So I'm very, very much aware of that. And I used to teach that about 20 years ago, Myers-Briggs. So very familiar with it. Rami, you're bouncing all over the screen, up and down, over, around. I assume you're available.
Yes, yes, of course,
all right.
Always.
Table topics number 2 is for Rami Saeed. Rami, you just flew from Russia to Dubai. If you could entirely rearrange the inside of an aircraft to suit your needs, what would you change?
Yes. Thank you so much, Michael. The first thing I would create is the entrance room. So I would start from the beginning to the end. The first thing when you want to enter is I want to have this big hall where I can do whatever I want. I want to run on an aircraft. I want to jump I want to have a gym on an aircraft. I mean, how cool is this? So you come in, you're running, you're doing free things that you want. You know that it's better than a private jet. Can you imagine an Airbus with 300 passengers? Can you imagine how big this hall is? It's like this whole ceiling. It's this big. So you can literally jump and play basketball in that place. So I'll have my workout. I will have big shower room area, and then I will have my dancing area. So I get to choose any of the lovely ladies in the airplane flying from Russia to Dubai. Wow. I mean, wow. You can dance all day long, and then you can go into the other room. Of course, there will be some swimming pool in the air. Come on, I mean that would be awesome. Jacuzzi, hubbly bubbly. Some maybe a smoking room as well, because I mean, come on, we gotta play some poker online. It's on the air. It's legal. Come on, it's an off zone. So yeah, and then a restaurant dining area, and a napping with a bed. That's the most important thing. So yeah, back to you.
When you want to test out that aircraft to see if it's suitable for customers, let me know. I'll be happy to come join you and we'll test it out, see how it goes. We can play a little bit of one-on-one basketball and see who wins. Very, very good. Okay, Miss Rebecca, you're next. Yeah, you're next, dear. You know, in Singapore, they're looking for a new PM, a new prime minister in Singapore. My question to you is, if you get promoted from VPE in Rotary and Toastmasters, VPE and Toastmasters, you get promoted from there to be the prime minister of Singapore. What are you going to change about the driving problems in Singapore? We have all these traffic problems. What are you going to change? How are you going to fix it?
Oh my God. Thank you so much for the creative questions, Mr. Table Topic Master. So Mike, I think you came to Singapore maybe 30 years ago. We don't have problem in Singapore for the driving. We not like Russia that like to break the rules. Singapore, if you don't know, we follow the rules. You know why? Because we afraid to pay fine. So if we want to make it even better or even greater, lesser traffic issues is, for me as a Prime Minister, Ms. Rebecca Purba will increase the fine to be 1 million Singapore dollar. So they will follow the rule, obviously. What we have now, we already have camera. You know, if we take out the camera, I'm sure we will be like in a jungle. We will go everywhere. But due to have camera, they'll be a good driver. Then they follow the rules because they're afraid to pay. But if I'm a rich man, oh, $300 is cheap. So I will add more, 1 million. So our country will be the first country that will follow the rules. So Russia, please listen to my suggestion and follow our rule. Increase the fine. Over to you, Mike.
Thank you very much, Becca. Thank you, thank you. I know that you being prime minister would be a riot over there. We would love the changes you would make in Singapore if you were the prime minister. Okay, Victor, you're next. Mr. Victor.
Yes.
All right, now you are in a debate and you're debating between which is a better place to live, Singapore or Moscow. I need to hear the pros and cons between Singapore and Moscow. What's the difference and why do you think one is better than the other?
Okay, thank you, Michael, for the question. Actually, I can back up any of this statement, and I can debate stating that Moscow is the better place for living, or I can take another option and debate that Singapore is a better place for living. Because both of these cities have pros and cons. In Moscow, I have much more options to go after work for theaters, operas than in Singapore, because in Singapore it's not popular at all. I hardly could find operas and theater in Singapore, especially nowadays, but nowadays is everywhere except Moscow. And another thing, if I want to support Singapore as a better place for living, I would choose climate. And the weather here, so comfortable during the year compared to harsh weather in November, in late October, November in Moscow, when you have these cold, dirty roads, and when your car is full of mud just in half an hour. And I would suggest that before you take a decision which city you want to live, you need to spend a couple of years in both of them. And then whatever suits it better for you, you will decide. Over to you.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid on a debate team, you wouldn't do very well because you're not hard enough one side or the other. You got to be on one side and go for it. And the two ladies on my screen are above you in the screen here, Becca and Angeline. And what I asked them to do is, girls, take Victor down to Clark Key for an evening down there. He will find so much more entertainment than he finds at the opera or the ballet. Go down there, you'll find it. It's there. I guarantee you it's there. Okay, Angelina, you're up next. Scoot over a little bit. You're next, Angelina.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Now, Angelina, the people in Bangkok were looking for a new representative from Singapore. You're going to go to Bangkok and be the Singapore diplomat up there. What are you going to teach the people in Thailand based on what you know in Singapore? You're the new diplomat to Thailand, and you're going to go up there and teach them things about Singapore. What are you going to teach them?
Thank you, Michael, for the question. That's a very interesting question. So if I had the chance to go as a diplomat of Singapore to Thailand, if you know, recently in Singapore right now, especially in this COVID condition where people could not go anywhere, sports education has become a very hype thing in Singapore. And lately, I've been so much into water sports, kayaking, stand-up paddling, wakeboarding. Thailand was famous for their beaches. They have plenty of beautiful beaches, beautiful islands, and that could be something that we as a Singaporean could suggest to them. You should make use of your beautiful environments so that you can lure in more Singaporeans, more tourists coming in, and we could give them advices. We could probably give them some consultations on how they could make it more interesting, how they could elevate. It's not only as a recreational, but also could be for team building, character building for also the local people there. So I was a water sport enthusiast, and I would bring this for the people in Thailand and let them also enjoy the beautiful sea, the enthusiastic and very invigorating exercises.
Thank you, Angelina.
Thank you, Mike.
For the rest of you who don't know Angelina, she's into water sports and has been for a long time. But Angelina, I suggest maybe you fly up to Phuket just for the weekend and check it out. You may be surprised what they already have, because I was on the back of a boat with a large kite in the air going through the water in Phuket just about 2 years ago. So they have a lot of things advanced. You might want to go check it out, but I'm sure they can learn a few things from you. Okay, last but not least, our favorite Mr. Timer and evaluator and all the other things that he is, Randall. Table topics for you, young man.
Second time.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on.
I will time you, Randall.
You're going to time him, Rami? Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Rami. Appreciate that.
Spasiba.
Randall, I know you speak English, and I know you've been going to school to speak Russian, but now you're going to be sent to South Africa and asked to speak Swahili. Why should someone with your talents learn how to speak Swahili?
Well, Michael, that's a very good question. It's really very simple, and Walter knows the answer. It's because I really suck at dancing. And as we all know, in Southern Africa, in Swaziland especially, it's very, very popular to dance with the local ladies around in front of the king. And if I'm going to Southern Africa, and if they're going to stick me in Swaziland, then I must dance better than I can now. So I realized that there is room for improvement here. And yes, learning languages is fun and useful, but if I'm going to learn how to properly dance as is required in front of a king, I need to talk to the local people. I need to learn the ins and outs, what not to show, what parts of my body not to show, what parts of my body I should show more of in order to make a good impression. And probably not just to make a good impression on the king, but all of his wives, because I think he has several wives, perhaps dozens of them. So I want to make a good impression. In order to do that, I need to learn the local lingo, and that's why I'm looking forward to learning Swahili. Thank you very much.
Good answers to everybody. And those of you who know me, except for Victor, he's the only one that's new to me. I'm very happy with you stretching your imagination. I'm happy that you're reaching out and speaking differently, not just giving me a boring, simple answer, but you're trying to do something different, a little bit humorous, a little bit fun, a little bit entertaining. And that's what I've been trying to show people for the last year when I'm on all these things. You see that I do funny things or make funny faces or say stupid things, or when you ask me how I am, my answer is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I mean, who else says that? Only Mary Poppins, right? So the idea is I'm very happy to see that all of you stepped up to the plate, decided to get involved with table topics, and you expanded your horizon a little bit. And we need to do that more as we grow as speakers. So our table topics are finished. I'd like to turn it back over to Walter because he needs to get the evaluators for our speakers today. Mr. Walter.
There we go. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmasters table topic speaker, presenter, improviser, Michael Wader. Dear ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, I will once again provide the link for the vote. But before I do that, I see already the timing from Rami, that is for the for Rendell's timing, and then I might ask Rendell. The time question was everyone in our time frame for the evaluation.
Well, thankfully, President Walter, everyone was on time. And just to give you the details, Walter, you were 2 minutes and 2 seconds, Rami 144, Rebecca 134, Victor 132, Angelina 142, and myself 1 minute and 14 seconds.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, dear Mr. Timer. Now, if you are looking into the chat area, please make sure you will find my vote link. Okay, that is too long. Bear with me for the vote of the best table topic speaker. There we go. No, that's not it.
Not yet.
Not yet. Hold on.
Not yet.
Where is it?
Still have the previous one you did earlier.
Hold on. That's the other one. Now it should come. Hold on. Now it should come. Let's try that one. Please take your time and click.
It is there.
It should bring up all the 6 candidates. The poll cannot be counted. What's going on?
The vote
Currently
is paused.
But it is not. Resume.
There it is.
Give it another try.
It's on the screen now. It's available now.
Yes, it's working. Okay. Please do your vote. 5 out of 5. 5. Well, yes. Okay. And 5 out of 6. Ah, okay. Wow, that is a tricky one.
Yes.
May I ask Angelina to put me a personal message for the vote, because technically you cannot click, so you're clicking from one account. So please, Angelina, can you write to me just the number, and then I can consider this as well, just to make sure we have 6 votes out of 6. Just type the figure of your person in the chat.
Sorry, I actually forgot the numbers on the.
You can reopen it if
Angeline, just speak your choice. Which one was it? Which person?
Oh,
I already asked her to choose me. I pay her $2.
The one who fined me 1 million Singapore dollar.
Oh, just Becca. She voted for Becca, Walter.
I didn't get that.
She voted for Becca.
Oh, for Rebecca. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Da, 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 da. Okay. Yep. So that is okay. Fine. And then we are done with that. Okay. Good. Yeah, that's working. All right, dear ladies and gentlemen, then after having the vote for the best table topic speaker, we would love to come over to the evaluation section. Due to the fact that we do not have a general evaluation for the entire team introducing the team, I am taking over the introduction of our 2 evaluators. Number 1, it's going to be the evaluator for speech 1, Rendell Eastman. Rendell Eastman being also, from my perspective, a very historically long part member of our local Saint Petersburg Toastmasters group, and is an experienced evaluator who will take over the evaluation of Rami Saeed's speech. Dear Rendell, the stage for the evaluation is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Walter. It's a pleasure for me to evaluate Rami Saeed's speech live from Dubai, from a tower, I think. It looks like you're upstairs in a tower on the 35th floor. His speech entitled The Bro. So the purpose of Rami's speech today was to define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring and give a speech about some previous experience as a protege. Let's start on the area for improvement. So I saw 2 areas for improvement. I want to make this warm and fuzzy for you, but let's get to the meat because sometimes I'm long-winded. Number 1, I thought that you could actually go into more detail about the examples of each of the 3 stages that you mentioned in your speech. I know that you have a lot of information that you can share, and I thought that although you hit each of the 3 points that you were talking about, you could have embellished more because your speech came in at 5 minutes, 29 seconds. So I'm sure you could have added another minute there. And I think this topic of this speech was about your experience as a protege. You shared a little bit of experience as a protege, but I think that part of the speech could have been more developed. And particularly, the benefit you received, the benefit you received on that occasion or more occasions on receiving mentorship. That having been said, your energy level was as amazing as ever. You were standing up, you were addressing, you always had eye contact directly on us, except for a couple of points which you used for effect when you looked away. Your use of hand gestures, I thought, Rami, they were controlled, but they were appropriate. They were not too little, they were not too much, and they helped to get across the point that you were making. And the way in which you were delivering the speech, it was, you used vocal variety, you were enthusiastic, you got the point across. You told us a story, which was very beneficial. When you started by talking about high school and Maserati and red carpet and the guy taking you under his wing, I was wondering if that was like a drug dealer sort of guy, but then I realized this is Dubai, so that would not be the case. And I'd like to know more about who that guy was. What was his story? But I think that was very appropriate that you shared with us that from an early age, you spotted an opportunity for yourself to improve, and then you got outside your comfort zone, as I know you love to do, and you approached the man or the young guy, and he entered your life. So I can say that I think just if you could have added a little bit more detail on the examples that you were given, that would have made the speech even more powerful. But you hit all the points. You started by saying you're going to talk about 3 things. You told us 3 things, and then you told us the 3 things that you want to tell us. So it was very good. And I look forward to your next speech. I don't know if I spoke overtime there. How long was it?
Thank you very much, dear Randall, for evaluating dear Mr. Rami with the love of Lamborghinis. Yesterday, I have seen the green Lamborghini just when you have to prospect because spring is coming, so you get your nice cars out. Herewith, we are handing over this stage to Rebecca Purba, who's joining us from the very lovely studio of the founder, Sir Thomas something, back in the United Kingdom's historical times, from the lovely Singapore city, and she is has already tested herself as a Prime Minister of Singapore throughout today's meeting, and thus obliged to evaluate our speaker, Michael Wader. Rebecca, evaluating Michael Wader, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Walter. First of all, let us all unmute ourselves and give a virtual applause.
Yay!
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 For completing his first pathways. Thank you, everyone. Mike, thank you so much for your insightful and inspirational sharing to all of us. We learned a lot from your speech. The things that I like, you connecting us through your storytelling. You bring us to your roller coaster time travel journey when you start Toastmaster until now. Can you imagine? He dedicated himself for more than 25 years in Toastmaster. And the second thing that I like about your speech, you establish your credibility as a speaker. In a public speaking, there are 3 C. You showcase to us, first, your confidence, second, your connection with the audience, and then third, your credibility as a speaker. And in your story, it's very personal. You showing us your vulnerable side. You bring us through your roller coaster, not only showing the good side, but you also showing your struggle. So it makes us take the learning point from you. You bring out the contrast, how you were before you joined Toastmaster, before you take the dynamic leadership program. You inspire us with your transformation and growth, which means you achieve the project objective, that you share your aspect of your growth in your pathway completion. And you close it with your powerful message, never stop learning. It's simple, relatable, and applicable for us. What you can do to excel or to improve your speech is showing more emotion. We know Michael very well that he is energetic, he is fun, he is joyful, but we want to show your rough side, your vulnerable side. Maybe you can use your vivid descriptive language. I was devastated, frustrated, and demotivated. Pause. So people will see different side of you, and we connect with you, and you show your different side spectrum of yourself. And the third thing, you need to make a stronger call to action. You mentioned about never stop learning. If I were you, when I close it, I will say, ladies and gentlemen, never stop learning. If I'm the youngest lifelong learner in this room, can continue doing my Toastmaster journey, taking my next step. How about you? So you encourage the member to follow your pathways, because this is a lifelong learning process. You are 17. That's why you inspire me. Then I also want to be like you. No matter what is your age, what is your gender, or what you do in your life, please continue learning. And to challenge yourself, Mike, what you can do is you share with us what is the next step for you after this path, what you will do, whether you want to reciprocate, you want to mentor the member. I want to do this, I want to do that. So by sharing that, and you encourage the member, Toastmaster is a self-paced learning. There is no time limit for you to do it, but keep on continue learning. So with this stronger call to action, we as an audience, or we as a new Toastmaster, get motivation from you. Then it encourages us to keep on continue learning like you as well. Overall, Mike, thanks for your sharing. Today, we learned from you, and we will continue our learning journey also in Toastmaster. And not only you can finish or completed your pathways today, we also will follow to continue like you, like me. I will also finish my second pathway, same like you. Thanks for inspiring us. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, dear folks. Please put your hands together for Rebecca's evaluation of Mr. Michael Wader. All right, dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm searching for the link to add for the vote. While I am doing this, preparing the general evaluation section, may I ask a timer for a brief timer's report if all speakers or evaluators were in time?
This is the briefest of reports. I didn't take the time because I was enraptured listening to Rebecca, and forgot about myself. So I presume everybody's on time.
Everybody's good.
We should just move ahead with that. Yes, I agree. Then let me find the vote. There we go. And please have a look at your screen to find the chat and click the direct poll for the best evaluator.
Walter, is there a little mini link or only that big fat one there?
Big fat one.
I don't know why it created that. The other two were brief and short. Now it created this one. It's the same program. There we go. One left. Okay. Looking good. All right. Now, coming back to our agenda, dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much so far for contributing. I would love to hand over the stage for the next session, which would be our grammarian's report. Because he's not there, we hand it over directly to the A counter, who is not here, and then we continue with the quiz master, who is not attending. Thus, the general evaluator will take over, which will be very brief and short, because everything can be said about today's meeting is it was fantastic, improvised, very successful, and very just in time until now. We're just about to hit the finish faster than ever before, considering the fact that we're running late, which is a tradition in our club. 10 minutes, I think, roughly late, due to the fact that the St. Petersburg spring almost arrives. I guess that the participants rate has dropped slightly due to the fact that people just preferred of spending some time outside than in front of the screen. This would be my very interpretation. Nonetheless, then giving out the ballot count to me and myself, I would open up the presentations of the winners after the fact that we voted for all of them. And then we kick it off with the evaluators. Dear ladies and gentlemen, please bring your hands together with the winner of the evaluation of today is Rebecca from Singapore. Congratulations, Rebecca.
Спасибо, спасибо.
Спасибо, спасибо. Не за что. С удовольствием. Поздравляем вас. Which brings us, yes, you wanted to say something more?
I want to repeat. Je peux parler français. Es-tu moi français? Okay. This is my reply.
Oh, ouais, that is, très bien, mais ce n'est pas russe, c'est français. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Okay, let's bring it back to the stage to everyone else and put our hands together for the best table topic speaker of today. Today's 136th speech is Mr. Rami Saeed. Congratulations, Rami, for the table topic session. What is your comment on that? We want to hear Arabic now.
Alhamdulillah, very good.
Say again?
Alhamdulillah, very good.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Okay, I need to learn that. I'm afraid that was probably rubbish. And last but not very least, we want to bring our hands together for acknowledging the best speaker of today. And let's give another drum of applause. 3, 2, 1. And the winner of the best speaker of today is no one else than Mr. Michael Wader. Congratulations.
Thank you all very much.
What a nice end with your path, with winning your very journey. Congratulations.
Thank you very, very much. And I give inspiring speeches because you guys inspire me. By you inspiring me, I just keep going. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, dear Michael. Thank you very much for contributing to this very nice and improvised session of today. Which brings us actually to the closing remarks and the adjourn of our today's 136th brief, improvised, semi-chaotic and very interesting meeting.